Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is the second part of my series where I show you the best free games on Xbox One. If you do enjoy the video and are new to the channel, please like and subscribe. Animal Royale. Super Animal Royale is an indie battle royale video game published by Modjus Games. Mac OS, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and Stadia in August 2021. Super Animal Royale is a 2D top-down third-person battle royale shooter where up to 64 players compete to be the last person standing using a variety of weapons. Players create a character from one of the several super animals, including different breeds and colours of various species, which are unlocked by collecting animal DNA awarded after each match. War Thunder. War Thunder is a vehicular combat multiplayer video game published by Gaijin Entertainment, released in January 2013 for PC, Xbox and PlayStation. War Thunder is based around combined arms battles on air, land and sea. It encompasses all three of these experiences in one gameplay session. Vehicles range from pre-World War I naval vessels from the interwar period and the Spanish Civil War for tanks and aircraft, to the Iraq War and beyond, with an emphasis on World War II as well as an emphasis on the Vietnam War and Cold War. Players can control aircraft, ground vehicles and warships from the United States, Germany, Russia, Britain and Japan, as well as nations with smaller militaries or less provinces in conflicts, such as Italy, France, China and Sweden. Space Jam: A New Legacy, the game. Space Jam: A New Legacy, the game, which was released July of 2021 following the new film coming out in theaters. You can play this fighting platformer game on Xbox One and Xbox Series X. This is a 64-bit fighting game where you can play as LeBron James, Lola Bunny or Bugs Bunny to defeat enemies and gain power-ups. Rocket League. Rocket League is a vehicular soccer video game released on Xbox One, PlayStation, PC and Nintendo Switch in July 2015, although becoming free to play in 2020 when Epic Games purchased it. Players control a rocket-powered car and use it to hit a ball that is much larger than the cars towards the other team's goal area to score goals. Players' cars have the ability to jump to hit the ball while in midair. The players can also pick up a speed boost by passing their cars over marked spaces on the field, enabling them to quickly cross the field, use the added momentum to hit the ball, or ram another player's car to destroy it. There is a large amount of customization for your car, including lots of crossovers such as Batman, Game of Thrones, Halo and more. Warface. Warface is an online first-person shooter video game originally released on PC and Xbox 360 in 2013, although released in 2018 on Xbox One and PlayStation for free. Players can choose between 5 different classes: Sniper, Rifleman, Engineer, Medic or SED, with each class has its own specific combat role. Players can compete in online PvP matches or combine their efforts against AI-controlled enemies in PvE battles as well as Spec Ops. As players complete matches and missions, they can earn experience points, Warface dollars and vendor points. The amount of rewards earned varies depending on the number of players, the missions played, the mission duration, the amount of checkpoints and other criteria. Realm Royale. Realm Royale is a third-person shooter battle royale game released in 2018 on Xbox, PlayStation, PC and Nintendo Switch. This game plays similarly to other battle royale games. 90 players drop down from an airship and must traverse a shrinking area, collect equipment and weapons to fight and eliminate opponents, and aim to be the last player standing, although with a twist. Players who have been knocked down by other players are transformed into a chicken and may be transformed back if they manage to survive attackers for a period of time. Crossout. Crossout is a vehicular combat video game released in May 2017 on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PC and Android. The gameplay is focused around the creation and subsequent upgrade of the player's vehicle through combat and trade as well as crafting of new items. It is a crafting and combat MMO game. The game allows players to construct their own vehicles to be used in PvP engagements with real players and PvE missions involving AI participants. The game focuses around vehicle combat. Players gain reputation with different factions, gaining access to new blueprints, parts and vehicles. Players gather parts and materials via battle rewards, completing missions, breaking down unneeded equipment, or purchasing items from other players via the in-game market. Hyperscape. Hyperscape is a first-person shooter battle royale game developed by Ubisoft in August 2020 for Xbox, PlayStation and PC. This game's main mode shares elements with other battle royale games where up to 100 players are dropped onto the map that slowly shrinks over time with players seeking to eliminate the competition. One main difference between Hyperscape and other popular Battle Royale games is that in Hyperscape, instead of a circle shrinking as the game progresses, random sectors of the map disappear. The game, however, differs in that once the last sector closes, the crown appears. Any player that is able to hold onto the crown for 60 seconds is automatically declared the winner. Alternatively, the game also ends when there is one player or one team remains. Throughout the game, players can find both weapons as well as special abilities known as hacks, such as letting the player transform into a giant ball from which they can bounce around, or letting them become invisible. Players can only have 2 weapons and hacks available at one time, although each item can be swapped out during a round. Warframe. Warframe is an action, role-playing third-person shooter multiplayer online game released in 2014 on Xbox One, PC and PlayStation. Warframe is an online action game that includes elements of shooters, RPG and stealth games. The player starts out with a silent protagonist in the form of a combat unit called Warframe, possessing supernatural agility and special abilities, a selection of basic weapons, and a ship called Orbiter. Players can engage in space-bound combat and other missions. Dauntless. Dauntless is a free-to-play action role-playing video game by Epic Games, released in December 2019 on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PC and Nintendo Switch. Dauntless takes place in a fantasy setting where a cataclysmic event has torn the world apart, releasing monstrous creatures known as behemoths that prey on the surviving humans. Players take on the role of slayers to take down the behemoths, collecting loot they use to craft and upgrade weapons and equipment as to take down larger and more powerful behemoths. Paladins. Paladins Champions of the Realm is a 2018 online hero shooter video game for Xbox One, Microsoft, Nintendo Switch. Paladins is a team-based first-person shooter that focuses on 2 groups of 5 players each, who compete for combat-based goals. The game is set in colourful sci-fi fantasy maps, where each player chooses a champion that cannot be repeated in the same team and cannot be changed during the match. Each champion has their own weapon, skills and fighting style. In addition, they can be enhanced and personalised from a card and skin system. Overall, the game is very similar to Overwatch. Fallout Shelter. Fallout Shelter is a simulation video game developed by Bethesda Game Studios, released in June 2015 on mobile, Xbox One, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch and PC. In Fallout Shelter, players build and manage their own vault as an overseer or as the leader/coordinator of their vault. Players guide and direct the citizens of the vault, known as dwellers, and need to keep them happy through meeting their needs such as power, food and water. They rescue dwellers from the wasteland and assign them to different resource generating buildings in the vault.